Hello, this is Mental Health, and I'm Robbie Stevenson. Today I bring you Lords of the Trident. This is Ty. I assume it's Ty, yeah.
Yes. Well, I go by Ty Christian as my kind of mortal alias because at the DMV, right, when you fill out those forms for like your license or whatever, they only give you so many boxes, and Fang VonWrathenstein it never fits on any form whatsoever. So I'm like, what is the shortest human name? Ty. It's like T. There's no shorter name than Ty. So yeah, Ty Christian. Just kind of went with that, and it stuck. So you can call me Ty, you can call me Fang, you can call me whatever you want.
Okay, I'll stick with Ty.
That's fine.
As you said, it's pretty easy. So.
Yeah.
All right. Lords of the Trident. I looked these guys up. I'm sorry I don't have any of your stuff, but
yeah. How dare you?
Yeah, I know.
I'm leaving this Zoom call. How dare you?
Yeah. Sorry, but it is what it is. But like. My buddy Brian, who I had on the fan edition for the first one, he says he likes cheesy power metal, and I think you guys are a little bit cheesy power metal, but you're like gourmet cheesy power metal, you know?
Well, look, we're from Wisconsin, so
yeah.
we have to be cheesy power metal. Everything in Wisconsin is built out of cheese. You know those Twitter videos where they cut into it and it's actually cake? It's pretty much that, but with cheese. I mean, like if you took a knife and sliced me straight through the center, I'd be 90% cheese. A little bit of blood, mostly cheese.
Cheese.
Yeah. We're born in vats of curd here in Wisconsin. I mean, it's inescapable. So
okay,
yeah.
But you are edible, so that's good.
Partially
Cannibal
edible.
Corpse.
We'd be a good side dish, if Cannibal Corpse, oh, look, some curds. Ooh, yeah, delicious.
Yeah, and like your nipples would be good pepperoni for the pizza, right?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Potentially pepperoni. That's the name of our next album.
Oh, wow. I'm glad I could inspire that. All right, so Lords of the Trident, is that Game of Thrones, like the Trident? Or,
we get asked that all the time, and it actually isn't. It was completely and totally like random chance that happened. When we came up with the name for the band, it was 3 a.m. and we were all just drunk and we were just trying to think of something, and they're like, Fang, say something epic. We need an epic name. We got to out Manowar with this. Like we got to, So I was like, Lords of the Trident, unite! And so for the longest time, we were Lords of the Trident, unite. And then so many people were just saying, oh, Trident practice, go see, go Lords of the Trident, blah, blah. They were omitting the unite part. And so we're like, let's just be Lords of the Trident. I was actually trying to do a throwback to that with I want one of the album titles to actually be Unite, and it was supposed to be this last album, but I think I'm the only one from that era that when the band kind of started that is still in the band who thinks that's a good idea. Everybody else is like, yeah, no, that's fine. That's
It'd be
okay.
like your version of like the self-titled album almost.
Yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
I was gonna say either that or you guys just really like gum.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting on Trident Gum to email me for the sponsorship. I mean, like it's a match made in heaven. We've got liquor sponsors, we've got mead sponsors, we've got drumsticks, we got cases. Why not gum? I mean, I'm a singer. My voice gets all kind of, it's gross in there after like 2, 3, 4 hours of singing. I need some gum, man.
It's true.
And I could go to the competition. I could call up 5 gum right now and be like, yo, so Trident, get on this. Come on.
With you guys' live show, like, not to ruin it for people, but you put things on fire sometimes. That's pretty badass.
All the time. Yeah. We have a lot of flammable things. We got a couple microphones that set on fire. We got a guitar that sets on fire. We've got let's see what else. We've got a sword that we've drilled holes into, and we weave cannon fuse into it, and we light that on fire. Let's see. We also have, gosh, we got a lot of stuff. I used to have a big chain whip that was made out of Kevlar that we'd soak in kerosene and we'd light, and then I'd whip it, and it would like cause a big old fireball to shoot out. That was pretty fun. And the thing that I'm working on right now is I've been studying martial arts for so many years, and I feel very comfortable, chopping through wood and blah blah and stone and all that sort of stuff. For the last couple of shows where we've had like stage assistants, I've had people bring out piles of wood, and we've soaked them in kerosene and lit them on fire, and then I'll chop through them. The problem is that when we're on tour, I mean, we have maybe like one extra person helping us with the merch booth. So right now I'm working on a configuration that's kind of like on wheels, where I can like bring this thing out on wheels, and it's a stack of wood that we can light on fire and I can chop through for the live show. But yeah, there is a ton of fire in our show, and
if you build it, Ty, they will come.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And the question we get all the time is, well, how do you do that? With in the state of things now, like at post Great White, how do you do that? And the simple answer is we just don't tell them. We show up, and my thought process is like, if you've booked us and you haven't looked at our picture where I am holding a microphone on fire and thought to ask the question, then you don't care enough, so that's fine, and most of the time, 90% of the time, the owners of the club would be like, dude, that's freaking awesome, man. Yeah. And then 10% of the time they'd be like, hey, don't do that again. Okay. Just don't, here's your money, but just don't do that again.
Oh, I really want you guys to get some like big backing, big money, and big stages, and see what those shows would be like. Because I'm really impressed with the ones so far that I've seen. It's pretty cool.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the bigger stages we played a bunch of bigger stages. The bigger stages are actually, believe it or not, somehow more difficult to do the like we opened for we were on like the Steel Panther. We opened for Steel Panther for a bit there, and yeah, some of those bigger stages, there were more. It was a lot more red tape to get the actual like pyro going. You think it would be way easier because there's way more space and stuff like that. But I mean, really, ultimately, right? I'd love to out Manowar, and I'd love to out Rammstein in terms of like, with the I don't know, the crotch flamethrower. Like, I want that. Yeah. Oh, I want a crotch flamethrower so bad. Can you imagine though? Like, they're losing the opportunity with the crotch flamethrower, because I've never seen a single Rammstein concert where they have like marshmallows on a stick. Just just.
And you guys could have Trident with marshmallows on it.
Yeah. It's exactly. Like it writes itself. I mean, come on. So yeah.
Awesome. Like, have you actually caught on fire yourself, or is that just cool because you're like mythological creature and stuff?
Yeah, no, I actually have. There was side story. I got married a few years ago, and my wife convinced me not to try to set my hand on fire as part of a stage thing. I was looking into these like Kevlar gloves that people like stuntmen wear when they have to do like a full body scene where somebody's on fire, and they're like, apparently if you put a Kevlar glove on and like some chainmail and stuff like that, apparently you can have your hand on fire for quite some time and it's totally fine. She put the kibosh on that. The one time that I did set myself on fire, well, I mean, there's been a few times. The funniest time that I set myself on fire was I was holding the mic. It was on fire, and we were on a stage that was really long, very, very long stage. And so I'm running back and and I jump out in the audience and I'm running back and forth, and I'm running these long distances. And as I'm running, right, I bring the mic a little bit too close to my nose, and I'm inhaling because I'm breathing heavily because I'm running these distances in full armor.
Yep.
So I'm breathing in through my nose, and I bring the mic on fire a little too close to my nose, and I inhale, and the flame just goes zip, right up into my nostril, burns all the nose hairs off of my nose in one fell swoop. and that was like just a real quick minor setback, like a oh, you know, and then I was back in the game. The funny part about it was,
I think I kind of know how you feel there because well, this is mental health, and I do talk about my addictions and stuff like that I've had and I'm working on. Yeah, I felt the burn through the nose. We'll put it that way.
Well, the funny part about it is I went to bed that night after the show. Right, took a shower, went to bed, woke up. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, and I woke up and I'm like, the house is on fire because I'm smelling smoke. I'm smelling burning, and I'm like, oh shit, and I run like down to where all the gear is, and I'm looking around trying to look for smoke, and about 10 minutes later, as I'm running through the house trying to figure out what's on fire, I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, all right, it's just my nose. It's all right.
And with my experience with that, I've also been paranoid and running around the house like that too.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, good stuff. So like, how many albums do you guys have out? And vinyl, I'm gonna get some because I honestly really enjoy your band, so it's pretty cool.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So at the moment, so it's in the metal world, right? It's a bit divisive of like, what do you call an album? Because we've got, so what I'll say is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 full albums, and then we've got 3 EPs. So if you consider an EP a release, we've got 8 releases, 5 full albums, 3 EPs. One of the albums is on vinyl, the latest one, Shadows from the Past.
Yeah, I saw that on the website, though. The website's really cool too.
Oh, thank you. I built the website, and I built the website, and I do all of the music videos myself. We do basically everything ourselves.
I could tell by the punching on the rooftop, you probably did that yourself.
Oh, that was a while ago. I've gotten way better at visual effects since then, you know, but okay. Yeah, that was that was a while ago. And that was just a bunch of my friends like, yeah, punch him. We'll make it look good in post or something. I don't know. You know.
The magic is in the editing, but yeah.
So we're working on album number 9 and 10 at the same time. We actually have, so the last album that we came out with was actually not Shadows from the Past. It was the album Pull the Plug, which is an acoustic metal album. We took a bunch of songs that we had already done, and for our Patreon backers, which we are actually the #1 most supported independent metal band on Patreon right now. We are the top grossing band that has never been signed in the metal genre on Patreon. So we got a really, really bustling Patreon. And so for our backers, we said, okay, once a month, we're going to come out with a fully recorded, fully mixed, fully mastered acoustic version of one of our songs. And what I didn't tell them was, okay, at the end of a year, right, 12 months, We're going to take those 12 tracks, I'm going to remaster them, and we'll make them into a CD, and we'll send it out for Christmas, because we started it in January or in December of last year. So
are you spoiling it right now, right here for?
Oh no, we did that. We did that previously.
Oh, okay.
And the plan was to do this for 2 years. So we're going to do 24 tracks, and we're going to release 2 albums, one with each having 12 tracks. The problem was that we were a little bit behind. We had there was a death in the family. We were a little bit behind, and then COVID hit. And literally every track is done except for one drum part and one guitar solo. And I've been sitting on this completed album, minus those 2 parts, for the last 7 months, and it is driving me insane. So
worse than having money in your pocket, you just want to burn in a hole.
Yeah. So
there was a death in the family, and it's stopping the release of Pull the Plug.
Well, so there was a death in the family. That pushed us back. Then COVID hit, and for a number of months we weren't even seeing each other in person. And then recently the guy who has to do the guitar solo, injured the tendon on his playing finger, which he's okay. He's in physical therapy. It's getting better. But basically, we don't want to push him, right?
Yeah.
We don't want him to work himself into injury, because this is a guy that'll play 26 hours a day. I mean, if you let him, if you don't tell him like, hey, take it easy, dude. So, so we're waiting for that. While we've been, waiting to finish that album, we've also been working on the next full length, not non-acoustic full length. And at the moment, I'm looking at my whiteboard over here. At the moment, we have something like 15 songs that are done and demoed out. 12, I think, of which have lyrics and are all like ready to go. And then the guy who injured his tendon, Asian Metal, he's got like 5 or 6 additional songs that he is demoing out as well. So we're planning on hopefully starting the recording process near the end of the year. And the thought is that we're gonna, we'll whittle these 20 songs down to maybe 10 or 11. We'll save a couple for Europe. We'll save a couple for Japan. And then the rest of them, we might actually just come out with an EP, 3-4 months after the release, and we'll call it the B-sides or whatever. So we'll have albums 9 and 10 out, hopefully sometime very, very shortly. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good work, Ty. It's a lot of work to put out there. Cool.
Yeah, well, I like to keep busy. I mean, in the background back here, I've got 10 sets of leather bracers that I'm currently making for a couple of our very lucky top-tier Patreon backers that I made by hand. They had a sale on a quarter of a cow. You can just buy a quarter of a cow, online. And so I'm like, okay, I'll buy a quarter of a cow, and then it came in and said, well, what can I make out of this? And so I started making 10 pairs of bracers, and I just started to finish them. So they're going out this week, going out in the mail.
Oh, great. The stupidest thing I've bought during lockdown and everything so far just happened.
What is it?
I bought that bracelet that looks like a skeleton hand.
The one that kind of reaches up?
Yeah, it goes on it starts on the bracelet, goes up here, and it's like rings connected, but it looks
yes. Oh my God. Do you have it yet?
No, I don't.
Oh, dude, you gotta update me on how cool that thing is when you get it.
I was thinking I could use this when I'm on stage, it'd be my stage jewelry. People would remember me.
Yeah.
But, not like they don't. I'm the only schizophrenic recovering drug addict material that they're really hearing. But, I need a skeleton hand. That'll really help me out. Oh.
That'll you'll stand out a bit. Or you can do like we did and just over winter you just you buy a half a cow instead of a quarter of a cow, and then you make a full set of armor.
Yeah. That. Or I could just buy the cow live, and my dad was a butcher, and then I could eat and have the skin too.
See, that's the thing that I was sad about, especially during quarantine. I tell people, I bought a quarter of a cow, and they're like, oh, how much meat did you get? And I'm like, oh, it's just the skin. Just the skin. I wish I got the meat. Dude, you know how many hamburgers? I love hamburgers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'd be eating hamburgers for months. It would be amazing. Oh.
Yeah. Plus the steaks, maybe you wouldn't have to just make hamburgers.
Yeah, I mean, steaks too. But I will say I'm a real burger connoisseur. When we tour, right? When we go across the U.S. and Europe and whatever, I'm always looking for. I always ask the people that we're staying with or the people that we're hanging with, okay, what's the best burger in this city? Take me to that best burger, and I've got a bit of a ranking going, so I'm a bit of a burger snob. I'll say I'm a beer snob and a burger snob. That's my two vices, really.
They go together really well too.
Oh, mwah, gorgeous.
I haven't had a beer in over a year and a half.
Well, good for you, he says while drinking a beer.
It's okay. I'm not tempted at all because there's a computer screen and you're not even in the same time zone right now.
Can't just reach out and
I get a sip and then I'm off. The thing is, last time I went to a bar, I even told the waitress that I don't drink alcohol because I break it in track marks.
Oh.
She was like, "Are you serious?" And I was
Oh
like,
boy.
"That's why I'll be having a water."
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything you want to plug or talk about before we go here?
Oh, absolutely. So I would recommend for people watching this, well, the easiest way to check out Lords of the Trident is just lordsofthetrident.com. That's the main hub for the most metal band on earth. I would recommend using the most metal browser that you can possibly use, which is probably Chrome,
Yeah.
because there's no other browsers that are named after metals, right? So that's probably the one to use. Go to lordsofthetrident.com. If you like what you see there, next stop, patreon.com/Lords of the Trident. For people who are not familiar with what Patreon is, it's like a fan club where you pledge like $1, $2, $5 per month, and you get prizes in return. And like I said, we're the #1 most funded independent metal band on Patreon for a reason. We put out a crap ton of exclusive stuff, behind the scenes stuff. There's so much cool stuff coming out every month on Patreon. I'd recommend people check it out. Other places to check us out. During quarantine, we've been doing a lot of live streaming. So you can check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Lords of the Trident. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/Lords of the Trident. We're on Facebook. We're basically, if you type Lords of the Trident into Google, we're the first 50 pages, and then it starts to get a little weird. So, to stay on those first 50 pages. But yeah, we actually just did a live stream last night, and we did a full live stream concert. You can watch the replay on Twitch or YouTube. And we've been raising money for charity. 50% of all the donations we've been getting have been going to charity. So far, in the last month and a half alone, we've been able to raise $1,500 US just for charity, which has been fantastic. So check that out. We're doing a couple of live stream music events every month, and I do a live stream video game playthrough every Monday night at 8:30. Also, final thing, since I need to keep apparently way too busy. I also run a festival, and the festival is actually supposed to be happening this weekend. We run a festival called Mad with Power Fest. It's a arcade, pinball, and power metal festival in Madison, Wisconsin, and we bring in some of the best, like mid to high tier power metal bands from all over the U.S., Canada, Mexico. Even sometimes we have some bands coming in from Europe, but it's mostly North America based, is what I'll say. And it's an absolutely fantastic fest. Since it's not going to be able to be a thing this year, we're doing a Mad with Power 2019 festival replay live stream on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central U.S. time. That's on the YouTube, the Twitch, or our Mad with Power Fest Facebook. So you can tune into that. There's going to be full live sets, multi-camera, fully mixed, kind of like what Wacken does, right? Full live sets with tons of cameras from Widow, Helion Prime, Judicator, Lords of the Trident, and Theocracy. Those 5 bands will do their full sets. So tune in. It's going to be a really, really great time this Saturday, the 15th. And if you miss it, there's going to be replays up available on YouTube and on Twitch.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ty. Best of luck going forward here. And thank you very much for being on Mental Health.
Thank you for having me.